Alright, welcome to part 2 of Packing for Home Spring 2013. So, with that said about YouTube, and with me saying how much I'm enjoying doing YouTube and stuff, let's talk a little bit about me, because I have a lot of things that have taken shape for me over the past semester since we last spoke in Packing for Home, about my future, about my career, about where I'm eventually going from here with my life. Because, believe it or not, I have one more final exam tomorrow, and once that's done, that marks the end of my junior year in college. So, I can't believe it. Maybe some of you can't either, considering when I first started this channel, I was a freshman. I was still living in my dorm. I was a second semester freshman, 18 years old. Now I have my 21st birthday coming up on Sunday in just a couple days. I'm filming this on Thursday. And I only have one more year of college left before I graduate. And so I recently, over the course of this past year, have kind of changed my whole plan of what I wanted to do. Because, I have 2 people watching. Cool. Again, if you guys want to chat, or at least let me know who you are, who's watching. Just comment in the social stream, because I don't know who you guys are. I don't know who's watching me right now. I can't seem to figure it out. I don't know. It just tells me 3 people are watching, but it doesn't tell me. I know I'm one of them. So basically 2 other people are watching, but it won't tell me the names of who's watching. So if you want to let me know who you are, leave a comment and let me know. But yeah, so I don't know how many of you know this or how much I've talked about my major or whatever in school, but I'm majoring in biological sciences. I'm going to get a bachelor's of science. And for a long time, my plan seemed to me was to do research, was to go to graduate school, get a master's or maybe even a PhD, and to do research on animals, research on different types of, and when I say research on animals, I don't mean like killing rats and stuff. I mean like, researching habitats, researching species, and learning more about them. And I really thought that's what I wanted to do, because I had a lot of interest in it, and I still do. I still have a lot of interest in it. But after sitting there and thinking about it, the plan of how that was going to happen eventually started to take shape, and it didn't really appeal to me. I would basically, to be taken seriously in the research department of the scientific community, would need to get a PhD. I'd need to get a doctorate degree, which can be up to 6 to 7 additional years of school. Oh, I have 3 extra people watching me. Cool. Again, don't know who you guys are. No one's leaving comments. Apparently nobody wants to tell me who's watching. Maybe they're embarrassed. Oh, Dave is here. Okay. In the room over, he was checking it out. Says he's here and the stream's good. Alright, cool. Glad. I didn't know if it was going to lag or something, but anyway, as I was saying, basically I would have to go to school an additional 6 to 7 years, okay? And that was going to be very difficult to pick, where I was going to go to school, because there's so many different graduate schools and such in the country, and it was just going to be a nightmare trying to figure all that out. And 6 to 7 years of very difficult doctoral work. And when you get out, to be a researcher, job security is not really a thing that researchers enjoy. Because the main part of being a researcher is you need funding. You need someone to give you money, a large amount of money, for you to pay for your expenses to conduct your research, to go, oh, Brandon's texting me, to go, to go out and do work in the field and all that other kind of good stuff. And funding, not everybody you don't just get funding. You have to do something in order to get funding. You have to know the right people. You got to be doing a certain type of work that these companies deem worthy of funding and all that. Money's limited. So job security is not really a thing that researchers enjoy. And many times to be in a position to get funding, you need to work at a research, college, being a professor and researching on the side. That's what many of my professors at LSU do. LSU is a research institution, so pretty much all of my professors in the sciences, and even not science, even other subjects, are working at the university as professors, but when they're not teaching, they're in the lab doing their research, and they get funding through the government because they're part of the state college. And to be perfectly honest with you, you think, 6 to 7 years of school, additional schooling after your undergrad, getting a PhD, being a science researcher, you think that the money would be great, right? That, oh, well, PhD and science stuff, they gotta be paid well. Well, actually, no. Researchers are not paid very well at all. There's the potential to be paid really well, over $100,000 a year, but you have to be like head of your research lab. You have to be, it's not very common. It's not something you can just, oh, PhD, I'm a researcher, I make $100,000 a year. No, it's not how it works. So, after thinking about all of that, thinking about my other options, I made a change and decided that I wanted to actually go into pharmacy and to be a pharmacist. Now, what do you have to do to be a pharmacist as opposed to being a PhD and a researcher? Well, pharmacy school is 4 extra years of school after your undergraduate. And in fact, you don't even need your undergraduate to get into pharmacy school. You can actually do 2 years of undergraduate work, and as long as you get the credits for the courses you need, you can actually go into pharmacy school in your 3rd year. So 2 years of undergrad plus 4 years of pharmacy school, in 6 years you can be a pharmacist. Now, of course, I didn't make this decision until now, so I'm gonna get my degree, my bachelor's, before I go into pharmacy school. So that's only 4 years as opposed to oh no, we lost a couple people. As opposed to the 6 or 7 that it would take to get a PhD. And the location is a lot easier. Checking time again. Oh, plenty of time. Because there's actually 2 pharmacy schools in my state, in Louisiana. One actually in New Orleans, which I live about 10 minutes away from downtown New Orleans. So I could actually stay home and go to school. I was also thinking about possibly, if I was going to go out of state, to go to the University of Houston, which is about 6 hours from where I live, and go to school there. And additionally, because it's only 4 extra years, the pay, first of all, job security, you have it. I mean, many pharmacists get jobs, or have jobs lined up before they even graduate with their PharmD, which is a Doctor of Pharmacy degree. Because what happens is your final year of pharmacy school, you actually go on rotations, at least you do here, where you rotate through different areas of pharmacy, the hospital, your local Walgreens, compounding, which is actually physically making the drugs. These different areas of pharmacy, you actually get to do internships there. And through that, you meet, obviously, people in pharmacy and businesses, and if you do a good job and you impress them and you talk to them and get to know them, then they may offer you a job and say, hey, when you graduate, give us a call and we'll give you a job. So a lot of pharmacists have jobs right when they come out of school. Obviously, a lot more advantage over being a researcher, because that's definitely not the case. And pharmacists typically make about $100,000 to $120,000 a year straight out of school. Okay? Now, compare that to what I just said about graduate school and being a researcher. I think you'll clearly see why my interest switched between researcher and pharmacist. Now, because I learned some of this, I was actually, my dad actually runs his own business, And one of his clients, he was talking to him, and he said his daughter actually graduated from the school in New Orleans for pharmacy, and right out of school, she had a job as a pharmacist and made $120,000 a year. So for me, that was kind of like night and day. I mean, you mean I can go to school at home? You mean I can only go to school 4 extra years as opposed to 6 or 7? And you mean that I can get a job right out of school with job security? I can get a job anywhere I want in the country because pharmacists are in high demand right now and make $100,000 to $120,000 a year. It was kind of a no-brainer for me to make the switch. So right now, that's where my focus lies, is on pharmacy. So what that means is, since I'm going to be a senior next year, this summer is the summer for me to really start doing everything I need to do to start getting ready to apply. So that means that, yes, this summer I'm going to have to start preparing and studying for the PCAT exam. You probably heard of the MCAT for doctors, the DAT, the DAT for dentists. Pharmacists also have an entrance exam called the PCAT, which is basically, the pharmacist's equivalent. And so I have to take it this fall, okay, in like September, and there's another one in October I can take if I don't like my results. So, this summer I'm going to have to start preparing for that. Taking probably online classes to prepare and study for this thing. Also this summer I'm probably going to be visiting a few pharmacy schools. I'm going to be visiting the one in at home in New Orleans. I might go to Houston to visit that one, I'm not sure. I also have to start talking to people and trying to get letters of recommendations for this school. So this summer is very going to be oriented on my future, my career, and preparing for that. But, and as you know, the past 2 summers that I've been on YouTube, this will be my 3rd summer of being on YouTube, I have worked the past 2 summers. The first summer in 2011, I worked at a restaurant, a job that I did not like. And last summer, I worked at a vet, which was a very hard-working job, a job that required me to work very long hours sometimes and really exhausted me a lot of times to the point of not doing anything on YouTube a lot because I'd be so tired. Well, this summer, my dad, as I just mentioned, runs his own business, was gracious enough to actually offer me the opportunity to come work for him this summer, which I've done in the past. The previous 2 summers he didn't want me to do that. He wanted me to go out and find my own work and everything, which I perfectly understand. I'm growing up, becoming a man. But this summer, because I kind of need flexibility this summer. Because for one thing, again, I'm having surgery, in a week, or a little over a week. And I need the flexibility to be able to study for this exam. Also, there's a couple of vacations we're going to be taking. Another vacation I want to mention, you guys, I've already announced that myself, friends Dave, Tyler, and my girlfriend are actually all going to Gatlinburg, Tennessee in August. I've made that announcement. And now I found out I'm actually going to be going to Gulf Shores, Alabama to the beach for another week. The dates are June the 22nd through the 29th, I believe, with my family. We're actually going to be heading out there with me, my 2 sisters, my brother, and my niece. We're all going to be heading out there and spending a week out there on the beach, which is great because ever since my siblings and all moved away after Katrina, I very rarely get to see them all at the same time in the same place. I'm actually out of clothes. Let me go check to see if I have any more to fold. I don't think I actually do. I don't. So I'm going to grab this suitcase so I can start loading. Oh, big suitcase. For anybody watching the stream, a big suitcase I just put in front of your face to load these clothes in. So yeah, I don't get to see my whole family at one time, hardly ever. So we're going to be going to the beach, and I'm going to be doing that. So it's like sitting on top of the computer. Oh well. Another time check here. Okay, it's time. So I'll be back with part 3.